Hi, everybody. We are live for our 2025 SSA Chicago Summer Series update show. I got my good friend Jerry Brown.
Here as always.
And another good friend of mine, John Doss, also known as JD, winning manager of the circus team. Yes. So before we get into the Chicago Summer Series stuff, we brought JD in. We're going to do a little interview with him, show you a couple of pictures, and it should be a fun show. So, JD, thanks for coming out and spending part of your day off with us. We really appreciate it. So let's get into it. You guys win your circus second No Glove National. And were you with them the first one?
No, I didn't join till 2023. They won in 2021, so this is my third year with them.
Okay, and of course you won one with OBI.
Yes, back in 2015, so it was 10 years to this weekend.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah.
Right, and for those of you that don't know, JD's part of my manager tree. JD, a Mudville guy, won the MVP and the batting title back in '02 in Bourbon A when we kind of surprised everybody and won a Class A.
Not 1902,
No.
2002.
Well, some people might think 1902. But, you guys, for me, it was fascinating because the two teams I was really focusing on were your team and Flashback. Not because, I didn't think you guys weren't good, but you guys had so much attendance issues, and so did Flash, that I was just kind of curious to see how the group was going to play, and I think you guys answered a lot of those questions.
Yeah, I knew going into when I was asked to coach here a couple of years ago that, it's been said numerous times, on paper, circus is really dangerous. The problem is that paper was never filled, until this past weekend. I had 21 guys at Thursday or Friday night's game. I didn't know what to do. I was going up there making substitutions. I'm not used to that. I have 10 guys at every game, so it was a learning experience for me as well, let me tell you. But it was a lot of fun. They played their butts off. The defense they played throughout the weekend was incredible to me. It was really something else.
Well, I think you guys defensively was good. I was talking to Jeff Hernandez, who was managing Flashback across the field from you, and I said, man, it's when you guys picked up Brian Sherwin, and with the problems that Dags has been having, and everything else, to have the luxury of having a kid that good go out and play left field and being able to slide Brian Koronkowski into center field and Tony Valdez into right field, that's a nice situation on any team to have that kind of depth. And I thought your outfield was fantastic the whole weekend.
Yeah, they played really well. Chippy, you get what you get with Chippy. He's going to be your best outfielder.
Hold on just a second. Mrs. Koronkowski, I didn't call him Chippy. This guy did. Okay, go ahead.
So Brian, you're going to get what you get with him. He's going to be your best outfielder, probably the best outfielder on the field, no matter who's out there. He's our leadoff hitter, and he's our leader. Tony Valdez hit his butt off this weekend. He really played well for us. Kid's a young, upcoming star, and Brian's just the hard-working left fielder. We had one game we had in trouble. We had to end up making some switches, and Brian had to come out of the game, and we have Joey Casa to put right and right, which really, we're so flexible. Joey went to right, Tony went to center, and then Brian moved over to left field, and it was like we didn't, miss a wink, so it was nice.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Brian's name, Sherwin, because I got a chance to see him a lot when he was playing with Dynasty and kind of see him grow up a little bit and play. And, he's very underrated. I think if you just look at him and then you watch him play over an extended period of time, the routes he takes and the amount of balls he gets to, I don't think people realize what a good defensive outfielder that kid is.
Yeah, he's something special in the outfield defensively. He goes and gets some balls that you can't believe. And like I said, with Brian next to him, those two out there, that sort of gap is closed, let me tell you.
Yeah, well, when Brian's in center both gaps tend to be a little tighter
You're correct.
on guys, and it shows because, you know, I thought your defense was on point all weekend. You guys did not give up a lot of runs, and I just, you could see teams starting to really press a little bit, and, you know, that gets into hitters' heads, and, you know, and then your infield played great, and we're going to talk about the MVP in a minute, but your infield was playing real sharp. Eddie Valunas at first. This is the best I've ever seen Eddie play. And when I was with Brick for a short time, he was just, you know, he hadn't settled in really. And now when you see him, and he got a huge hit for you on Sunday, that kind of blew that game open, the if game. And, you know, he's come a long way, man. He's turned into a real good player and a competitive player. And I don't know if it's your group, but he's like enthusiastic about being out there now.
Yeah, he got us fired up a little bit Sunday. They walked, I want to say, Alonji.
Yeah, they did.
To get to Eddie, and it put a little fire in Eddie's rear end, and it showed a little bit. I had a chance to coach Eddie with YTD Brick. Eddie's a great guy. You know, he comes to play. He's intense. He's just what I like in a player. You know, I was sort of the same way. So I really enjoy the way Eddie plays the game. As far as our defense, I think going into the championship game, we let up 8 runs. I think it was 2, 2, 1, and 2 between the first 4 games. So we really, Jack Nakanishi and Joe Caputo, hats off to them. Timmy came in and closed the door on the 45s, which I thought was, you know, he came in, it was like 4 pitches, and we were out of the inning. So just hats off to our defense, our pitching. You know, we'll talk about Keenan, I'm sure, but just incredible defense all around in our infield.
Well, Jack is a interesting player because he pitched Dynasty to a no glove. And then when Circus won their first one, Joey Caputo, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of 2 or 3 weeks before the no glove, he had that sports hernia like you had.
Yeah.
And Jeff Berger as well. And, you know, so Jack had to kind of come in, and he had to pitch those, you know, the championship in the if game, and he wins the no glove. And now, you know, we were all wondering what happened to Joey, and then we find out he had, you know, the heat kind of got to him, and he was throwing up. And so I was kidding Jack. I'm like, you're a nice insurance policy. It's like people get hurt or sick, and you come in and you pitch them to a title.
Yeah, Jack was, you know, the MVPs, I was struggling. If it was up to me, it was between Keenan and Jack. You know, Jack really stepped up huge. He actually got a real big hit in the flash game as well that no one ever saw coming. He hit a double in the gap. So hats off to Jack. He's been great all year. He's always there. Him and Joe, you know, we always have a pitcher there. They make sure one of them's there. They're great teammates to be with, I can tell you that.
Jerry, you got anything?
Well, first of all, congratulations with the opening ceremony, 18 years of service. I like this. I like the tribute they gave to you, and I thought that was pretty cool.
It was awesome. You know, the Park District did a nice job for me. It was bittersweet. You know, I didn't run this time. I just didn't have another run in me. Served 3 terms of 6-year terms. It was 18 years. I knew it was somebody else's turn. They sent me off with a nice party. They did a nice thing at the board meeting, and then this thing at the field was incredible. I just, you know, it almost moved me to tears, let me tell you. It was nice.
Yeah, I thought it was very nice. Question, with your 2015 no glove and this no glove 10 years later, is there any comparison, anything, any difference, any one mean more than the other, or are they all the same?
OBI was the first one.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody saw us coming. You know, I know we were right there, but this team was talented, and it was special because I had my son with me, my youngest son. So that one, maybe this one was nice because of that, but that OBI team was one of my favorite teams I've ever been involved with.
Okay.
Ever.
So if OBI plays Circus, what team you coaching?
Oh boy, I'm probably gonna umpire. How's that?
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take one. I'll coach one of them.
There you go.
That's pretty funny. So let's take a look at that Circus team. So there we got a nice picture of the group after you guys won the title, and you know, your guys were so ecstatic after they won. How many of these guys, if you know JD, was this their first no glove? I mean, Eddie, I don't think was on the other team.
I think Eddie, Jack Doss, Keenan Conley, the two Novak grandkids. So, Dave Novak, the former executive director who passed away, we picked up his two grandkids to pinch run for us. It meant so much to him and his family, and it was really nice to have him part of the team. I know that was definitely their first, and they're young kids. It's not going to be their last, I can tell you that. I think Joey Castle was with us with OBI. There's a couple more because they had a picture. I don't have it with me. But we had a
Did
picture of the
Tony
first
win
timers.
one, or was he
No,
on the
Tony-
45s when they won?
Tony was a first timer as well. Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, it was special. I tell you, going into the weekend, I didn't know what to expect. We could have went 0-2 as well as win the whole thing, and it came out our way.
Well, I just let you know that Gio and I were talking, and I had my Final Four picks perfect.
There you go.
Perfect. This guy, I'm not going to say
No.
which team. This guy needs to go do a little self-evaluation.
No, actually, I had him. He had the
Okay.
Pharaohs sliding in there, and they came close,
Close.
but lost a tough game to Chuck's, 3-1. So I thought it was interesting. I was impressed with that Whale team. I thought they had a good run. Chuck's had a real good run.
And the Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame played well.
Yeah,
I feel
they
bad
did.
for Sam Rogers. I hope everything works out for you, Sam, if you're watching. Prayers out to you, buddy.
Yeah, of
He
course.
got hurt.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
broke his leg in two places. He had a little too much swelling, so they put him in a cast. And sometime probably this week, he's going to probably have surgery out in Iowa. Great kid, fun group, that Hall of Fame. I think they impressed me a little bit. They came out, and we were very close to having both of those Iowa teams make it to the Final Four.
Absolutely. It's not
So-
too far away, let me tell you.
No.
Yeah, the bridge is closing fast. There's no doubt about it. So let's take a quick look here at Keenan, the MVP, 13 for 17, and spectacular defense all weekend.
Yeah, Keenan made a couple plays that were unreal, but even just every routine play Keenan made, he hit from start to finish, some of the biggest hits, 2-out rallies he started. I sort of knew what we were getting with Keenan. I don't know if anybody else did. This kid played with my son on the Shooters a couple years ago.
Right.
Eddie Valunas was with them. I talked to Ray a little bit. I've watched, Keenan for a while. And everybody wanted him. In the offseason, we all know he was
The big fish.
Yeah, he was rumored for every team. So and I'm
Even
glad
Obos.
Yeah, I'm glad he chose us. That's all I can tell you.
There was a play which I really enjoyed. It was a line shot hit to Alonji. He dives, the ball caroms off, and Keenan's right there, and it made it look just simple as 1, 2, and 3. And that was, I forgot who you guys were playing. It was on field 1. I don't remember who you guys were playing, but that was a real good play, and that was just showed you maybe fate was on your side.
Yeah.
Everything bounced your way.
That's for sure. He's the dirtiest guy in the field after every game.
Yeah.
It's unreal. So he gets dirty. He's unreal. He had a great weekend.
Well, it's funny too, because when you talk about those weird kind of bounces and things that happen, it always seems to happen with the great players. If Gio's at shortstop, that ball's nowhere near me,
So over
and
your
I don't
head.
make the play.
It's over your head.
You're
You're 5'2".
Okay, take it easy.
Okay.
But a couple of years ago when Kevin Duff chalked the line with 2 strikes on flashback and tore their heart out.
Yeah.
And Kevin admitted to me he wasn't trying to chalk the line, but again, he's a great player, and it just seems like even if they make a mistake or they're always in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, we joked about it. Circus lost a lot of games, and we had so many balls that were just foul by an inch or two, and we're like, we just need that one Duff ball, that one ball that hits the line. And every time we did a foul ball, we'd all look at each other going, there's another one that just missed.
Yeah.
It was one of those years until this weekend. So
Did the infield make any errors? I saw 2 or 3 games. I don't remember seeing an error.
there was a couple made. I don't want to throw them under the bus.
Okay,
but yeah, there was a
well,
couple made.
it's
by-
1 or 2.
Yeah. Not many though. There was
Right. No, not
So-
many at all. Because I never left field 1, and I came across a really group of people, a really nice group of people. I sat next to. We sat 3 days, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and all 6 of us enjoyed everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. And I got one more circus picture. We'll throw it up there. You guys do the traveling trophy thing. So there's Tony Valdez over by Guaranteed Rate or Rate, whatever they're calling it, sitting there in Bridgeport with the No Glove trophy.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I had to send in our group me to ask where the trophy was because I lost track, and last I heard it was in, by Sox Park. So that's the last I heard about it.
So there's Tony. Do me a favor, send me some more travel pictures, and we'll throw them up on the website.
You got him. I think it's going to make a cameo tomorrow night in Forest Park, and we'll see what happens after that.
All right, okay. Let's keep it away from the Flash guys so that we don't have an accident with it.
You got it.
But Flash played well. They competed. They played hard. They forced the if game. Looked like they were a little beat up toward the end. And, you guys got those. It was 10-7, and you guys pushed it out to 13 in the sixth. And that pretty much looked like it took the starch out of the sails.
Yeah, top of the order, when you got this, Brian Koronkowski, then it goes Duff, and Keenan and Dags and Alonji to it just keeps going. They're 9 deep with guys that was be top 3 hitters on most teams, and it was a pleasure to have it this weekend. Let me tell you. Yeah,
well, like I said, you guys answered the bell after some of the issues you guys were having just getting people out. That's what I was curious about. I was telling people before the tournament started that. Flash and you were kind of wild cards in the sense that we hadn't seen the whole group out. And I think for Flash, this was the first weekend they had their whole group out, and they didn't even have it on Friday. They didn't have their whole group out until Saturday. You guys looked like you had everybody out all 3 days.
Yeah, we had the whole team from start to finish. I sent a little message, from the last guy on the bench to the MVP, everybody contributed that weekend, that's for sure. I mean, I used that all 21 guys at some point over the weekend. It was a true team victory, and I couldn't be happier.
Well, see, but that's a trait that good teams share. Your team, Flash, 45, Signature. It's about one thing. Once you're there, is you're trying to win softball games and win championships. And, your team, Flash in particular, you never see them point. Your groups don't point fingers. I mean, I've seen you guys when you're having a couple of cold ones afterwards. Everybody busts some, nuts here and there. But when you're on the field, there's none of that. And, I talk all the time about how teams get derailed and they start arguing with each other, and it's just so counterproductive, and it's not fun.
No.
But your team shares that trait, and I wish more teams would take an approach like that. I think it would be better quality of softball across the board.
Yeah, they definitely let me do the argument when we talk.
Well, that's that's what you're there for, right?
Right.
Hopefully you're going to go and argue the right way, and I don't know how much it helps with these umpires. Everybody thinks they're going to get the next one,
right.
But it just doesn't. To me, I don't know. It's just counterproductive.
Question: do you think the reconfiguration of the field? What's your outlook on that? Seems everything was pushed up a little bit.
So the fields itself, I'm happy with. The drainage definitely worked. We had heavy
awesome.
rain. That definitely worked. There's some things maybe the tournament can work on, and that's not my, it's not my issue anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely some room for improvement. But other than that, the tournament went well. There was no issues. We had no, everything with the food went well. So I know as the park district, from their aspect, they're happy.
Okay.
I heard some complaints, like everybody did. You know what I mean? But
you're gonna hear that anyway.
You're gonna hear that anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it was the first year. They'll work it out. They'll listen to people, and they'll
make adjustments.
Tweak it for next year. Yes.
Yeah. Last question from me, and then so if you have a crystal ball, and if I ask you, JD, in 2026, Circus will do what?
Repeat. How's that?
My man,
Okay.
I love that.
So let me ask you a question.
That's what I'm talking about.
There were some rumors, and that Circus might not have a team next year. A couple of the main guys, were thinking about it. Winning tends to quiet a lot of that stuff. And now when you're in a position to repeat,
A little different.
did any of that change? Did guys get maybe re-energized or, you know?
I know I did. I could tell you, I was talking about sort of being done, and how do you walk away now? You know what I mean? It's sort of tough. I hope everybody has my same attitude. Of course, we haven't talked about it. But I hope everybody stays, and, you know, we're back next year.
Well, you predicted the repeat, so no one's going anywhere.
There you go.
Congratulations again.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
JD, you're my guy. You
Hey,
always have
pardon
been.
my reach.
Appreciate everything that you've done for softball
Class act.
with the Park District and the teams. And when you played for me, you always gave 100%. And hard to believe that was in '02.
Yeah.
Actually, we met in '01 in Highland,
Yes.
you know.
Quick couple shout outs, just real quick, to our sponsors.
Absolutely.
If you don't mind. Danny Boy Builders helped us out tremendously. And of course, Kevin Duff and Signature Team. We couldn't do it without them. We had some father-son championships this weekend in Little League. Timmy Kornikowski's son and
Congratulations.
Jack Nakanishi's son won the same day we won. So it was sort of a nice
Congratulations.
Sunday, just so you know.
Championship Sunday. I like it.
So,
All right. Well, we're going to let JD scoot out of here, so we're going to show a picture so he can make a graceful exit. And we're going to be back here in a second. So since we're taking a little break, just like to thank Sweet Buzz, our anchor partner for the Chicago Summer Series, that sorry, folks, just trying to move a chair out of here so me and Jerry can be a little more centered. Of course, they sell infused products. If you're an adult, look into them. Nick on Drabel on Moneyline, one of the founders of that company. So number 77 on Moneyline. If you see him out at a field, please feel free to ask him some questions about his products, and I'm sure he'll give you all the information. As far as those products go, please use them responsibly. And, oops, sorry, folks. So me and Jerry are kind of back now. Sorry if the picture's a little skewed, but so we're going to get into the Chicago Summer Series. Of course, unfortunately, Forest Park was not a part of the Summer Series. We will look at the brackets and tabulate the points. So my team standings are a little bit off. This is basically what I'm going to show you next. Was heading into the No Glove. Me and Jerry were hoping to do this show last week, but the scheduling was so tight, we just couldn't do it. So before the No Glove, you can see where the standings were. 45s were at 110 points, and they were kind of walking away with this thing a little bit. Flash was in second, Hex, Signature, Moneyline, and a team I thought should have got a bye, the Pharaohs. At 6, Fat Kids, March, High Y, Impact, and then you see Whale. Chucks had only played in one game. They're buried down there at 17. They'll be moving up after this weekend. So we'll have that out. And again, this is not the point system for how we're going to do the major. We're having a meeting tomorrow, and we will post that major team list on Thursday, and that takes into account league play as well as tournament play, and it'll be updated with the points that teams earned for wins and losses this past weekend. So that's kind of where we're at. We wanted to kind of show you guys that. And now we'll get into some of the other statistical leaders. Again, we did not do the game changer at the No Glove, as you all are aware of. So all of the statistics are for the first 3 events, and then of course they'll get updated after the major in Joliet after Labor Day. So let's get the batting leaders. So number one on the list heading into the No Glove was Spencer Mahoney from Signature, 633. And then a guy who's making me look like a genius, Lenny Gonzalo from Moneyline. I thought he would be the breakout player of the summer, 612. Jason Ganick from Moneyline, 583. Johnny McIlvain from March, 579. You know he's half Greek, Jerry.
Okay.
Santos Sotos from the Fat Kids, 568. And then P.J. Raines having a monster year, 567 for Flashback. And then a guy you know very well, KJ, Kevin Johnson, who's just turned into a
monster. He's always been a monster.
Yeah, but he's been so consistent. And, of course, we all knew what a good first baseman he was.
Excellent.
And he's hitting 545. And then we got Anthony Sanchez from the 45s at 540. Brian Davis, Moneyline, 538, and Brian Kearns, 529 from Flashback. And again, this was based on 36 plate appearances, and after the major, you'll need 48 in order to be
beautiful number.
Considered the great 48.
That's a beautiful number. Can't go wrong with that.
I wish I knew somebody who wore that number.
I did too, but a lot of noble at this table. Let's not forget.
And, of course, for those of you that don't know, 48 is Jerry's number.
Favorite number.
Favorite number. It's not as nice as 21, but...
No.
So, going back to that list, anybody on that list surprise you, Jerry?
No, it was not really. I know that P.J. Raines is something special. I saw him at the No Glove, and it's a sad thing you couldn't put his stats in there. I remember I was there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. He might have made one out. And I don't know if he made that, but he was tremendous. He was awesome. It was a couple of people I want to give a shout out to, but P.J. Raines is one of them. The best player nobody really talks about is that guy Chris Rieger. He's the best player nobody talks about. And when I saw a lot of Whale games, and I love the Whale team. I think it's Mercurio, Barkowski. If I mispronounce your guy's name, sorry about it. Barkowski, Mercurio, Jackson Perry. It's another guy, I forgot his name. They were tremendous.
Cenk Letty playing center field,
yes,
young kid.
Yep.
Having a great year.
Sorry about that. But Gio got my back. That's what teammates do. And they were tremendous. And my favorite game was the game they won 2-0.
Yeah.
That was the opening game they won. I forgot who they beat 2-0. The next team that showed me a lot was Menace.
Yeah, they had a nice, considering they had to come through the play-in.
Yeah.
They were tough. They played tough most of the weekend. They won their Thursday game. And, they got beat up a little bit on Friday. They made a couple of mistakes.
Who were they playing, Flash?
No. Flash ended up playing
Well, they're playing the 45s then.
Yeah, 45s.
Okay, I saw that game. It was a controversial call, but I mean, just from going from playing status, and the guys I want to talk about with minutes, don't know your name, guys, but 47 and 55, you guys hit the ball. You guys were tremendous. So next time around, I'll have your names, but I do have your numbers, 47 and 55.
Yeah, 55, I think, is Tommy Evett.
With the long hair?
Yeah, the right fielder.
Yeah. Way to have my back, man. See what I'm talking about.
Yeah, 47, I'm trying to picture
He
him.
plays second base, and a stockier player, and I'm listening to him. I'm sitting right there, and he was so encouraging. They're down 4 or 5 runs. They easily could have thrown the towel, but he had fight in him from the first inning to the last out. And I like players like that. And that's how you make the all-Geo team. Wink, wink. But moving quite along. And my other favorite player is Mark Ross from 30-38s and the shortstop from 30-38s.
Oh, yeah, Julian Russell.
Yeah, that's his name, Julian Russell. So I had a chance to watch those three teams in particular, because I can always watch the 45s and Flash. You could pick Close Your Eyes and Circus. You could pick one, you never go wrong. But I think those 3 teams deserve a little extra star on their forehead.
Yeah, but they're coming right along.
Especially Whale.
They're getting better and better, and this Whale's really been picking it up here toward the end of the year. And, you know, they're tough, you know, and they've played 3 games against Flashback this year. They beat Flashback one time. They lost 8-5 on Friday, and then you know, Flash was down halfway through the game on Sunday, and then Whale made a couple of errors, and Flash ended up winning that game like 9-5 or something. But you know, think about it. They only lost 2 games in the No Glove, and they lost them both to Flashback. So no shame there.
No, none whatsoever. But you can't answer this question. Maybe you can, but it seems like when you play the Flash, Signature, Circus, and the 45s, it seems like when you make that one error, it just leads into something not too good.
Well, the thing about those teams, Signature and all of these teams you mentioned, their lineups are so good that they can start an inning anywhere from 1 to 10. And so even if you make an error with the 8th place hitter, the 9th place hitter is a better hitter than you would expect a 9th place hitter to be.
Yeah.
And so as a result, and especially in tournament softball where, you know, guys are into every pitch, every out, and, you know, it's hard. It's hard to get 3 outs against a good team. And, you know, I think that's one of the reasons why when you look at the 45s or Signature, Circus this weekend, Flashback, you know, they don't give you a whole lot.
No.
You know, and you'll notice, too, when these big teams play, if the other big team makes an error, they usually end up giving up quite a few runs, even as good as they are, because you just can't. You got to catch the ball.
Yeah, and it seems like they smell blood. It's like when you make an error, it's like, oh, really? And it just goes manifests to something not too good for the opposing team. So and another thing I was impressed with was the 2-out hitting.
Yeah, there was a lot of that this weekend.
I saw Flash. I forgot who they were playing. I saw so many games. I'm sorry, guys. It was 2 outs, and they knocked in 4 runs off 2 outs. It was 2 outs, and they just kept hitting. Well,
I saw somebody score 6 with 2 outs and nobody on. You know what I mean? And you think you're getting now a little roller somewhere. The guy, okay.
No.
It reminds me of that scene in that movie Moneyball.
Okay.
When the Oakland A's are in pursuit of tying the consecutive win mark, and they're up like 10 runs, and there's a little ground ball to the second baseman, and he muffs it. You don't think anything of it. Next thing you know, it's like a tie game.
Yeah.
And so you never know, but especially in tournament softball. It doesn't happen quite as much during league play, but when these guys are geeked up and they really want to play, it's hard to get 3 outs, especially in the 7th inning. And, you know, these teams, it's like they lock in. And, you know, when you run a team, you're like, where was this all game?
Yeah.
You know, what are we waiting until the 7th inning? But, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, you just try not to drive yourself crazy. So let's move on to the next category. These are the hits leaders, top 5.
P.J. Raines.
P.J. Raines, 34. Danny Dispenza, 33. Joey Agardo, 31. Ryan Russ, 30. All Flashback members. And then Lenny Gonzalo with 30. So
I demand a recount.
Well, you know, it's funny because Flashback has been scoring a lot of runs. They didn't score as many runs this weekend.
No.
And they were having some issues. They had a couple of guys that were in a little bit of a funk coming in. And as a result of that, you know, offensively, they weren't the juggernaut they were. They were grinding more than anything else. I think Gibbs and Bobby Rush Jr. Did a good job of kind of milking everything they could out of them. They had a couple of guys get dinged up on Sunday. And, you know, as you like to say, championship DNA probably carried them through a couple of those games. And again, not to take anything away from Circus, they were they were start to finish the best team this weekend, and they deserve winning the title. But and again, Flashback was trying to three-peat, so you know they were hanging in there and doing the best they could. But you know they ran into a little bit of a juggernaut. And
yeah. So, question. So with the Flash, they didn't get their three-peat. I know you're not over there. What do they do next? What's their 2026 goals? Do they blow it up? Do they tinker? Do they just go back with the same group? Because a couple of their guys were a little banged up. I'm one of my favorite Flash guys, Manzella. He was hurt most of the tournament. He gutted out, got a couple big hits in the right center gap. But what do you do? And I'm not feeling sorry for them because they got 12 great players. They got Hall of Famers over there.
I don't think Gibbs and Bobby Jr. are the blow it up type.
Okay.
Now, I know like every group that runs a team, they wish that more of their guys would show up. So with a team like Flash, it's almost kind of like what Hex did. When they brought the sauce guys in who they knew were going to be there every day. I think if you're Gibbs and you're Junior, I think what you try to do is tinker around the edges, find the right kid, because they're very particular about who they bring in there from not only a player standpoint but a personality standpoint.
Okay.
And I think if they make changes, I don't think it'll necessarily be wholesale, but I think it'll be for good players who are going to be there more consistently. And because what happens is guys get beat up when you're playing in two leagues, you're playing double headers, you're playing 4 games a week, you're playing on weekends.
Tournaments.
And tournaments, and then a lot of these guys playing the one-day events. If you can't manage them from a physical activity standpoint, that's when guys start breaking down this time of the year. So, if you got the same 9 guys that are playing 99% of your innings, somebody's breaking down. And when you talk about that team, 45s, whoever, these true solid upper echelon major teams, a lot of mileage on these guys. They're playing late every weekend.
True.
And it'll catch up to you at some point. So, they'll be back. They'll be solid again.
Oh, they'll be right back in the mix of things.
I mean, that's what these bigger clubs do. And let's face it, unlike Mudville or the Obos or Solutions, a little easier to recruit when you can go and throw that flashback or 45 or signature resume on the table, right?
It speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it does.
Speaks volumes.
And, and they got a good group, and they get along, and, that adds a lot to your recruiting, is when teams look at you and they say, hey, that's a good group,
Do you believe in championship fatigue?
I don't.
Okay.
I think you hear about that sometimes, like with the NFL or the World Series, but I think that when they talk championship fatigue at that level, it's because the guys on those teams start getting endorsements and they start running around.
Okay.
And maybe in the off season they're not as focused in doing it. I think it's hard to repeat in any sport at any level because of the physical toll. You don't know what's going to happen. In our case, we're all amateurs, so you don't know when a guy's work changes. So we have a lot of unknowns that at a professional level they don't have, because that's what they do for a living.
Well, I repeated. I repeat the 3rd grade. So it wasn't very hard. Repeating is very easy. I repeat the 3rd grade. So just let you know that.
Explains a little. So we're gonna go to the next topic, which is doubles. And here's this guy, PJ Raines again.
What'd I tell you?
At 10, Mahoney, 9. And you're one of your favorite guys and mine, Cordell Irving, with 7, tied with Danny Dispenza from Flashback and Jordan Dean from March.
Woo.
And I love this Cordell Irving, man. I think he
could be special.
He can be. He's still a little too hard on himself when he makes a mistake. But, I mean...
I'll take that than the latter.
Yeah, he doesn't make a lot of outs.
No.
And he's getting better all the time defensively. He's a little versatile. I hope that whether he stays or leaves or whatever team he's on, I'd like to see him go somewhere where they say, hey, you're a shortstop or you're a...
third baseman?
Yeah, and just let the kid play there for a year, because then I think we could really see how special he might be.
Okay.
But I know you like Cordell too. You think he's a good player.
I think he'd be one of the up and coming stars in the game if he projected 5 years from now and keeps his head on straight.
Well, but I got to tell you too, this year in particular, it started a few years ago, but the number of tremendously talented young players coming out of Washington Park right now is unbelievable.
Oh,
It's unbelievable. You look at, the Pharaohs. You look at some of the guys on BTA, and Ten Deep's got a couple of really nice players, and guys, you just look at them and they're just athletically and physically and fast, and the things they can do. I mean, it's unbelievable.
there's a couple of guys. There's another young man, and it's matter of fact, it's Cordell's brother, Brandon. He's going to be a nice player. You know how good he is. He's tall, lanky. He hasn't filled out yet, but he hits the ball well. He plays left field, and he has a chance to move up and be a good player down the road. So there's a plethora of talent in Washington Park. A little spread out, but there's a plethora of talent out there.
So who's going to be the manager that can harness them all and get them together?
Tony Ward.
Tony Ward?
Tony Ward.
I was thinking the great 48.
No, he's done.
And I want to give one shout out to somebody I think has got a chance to be a spectacular first baseman, and that's Marcus Webb. The more I watch this kid play first base for the Pharaohs, the more I'm like, this kid's unbelievable.
Yeah. He has hands the glue. Just gotta get his bat together, a little more consistent swing.
Yeah, that'll come a little bit. But to have a kid that size, that long, who's a stone cold vacuum cleaner over there, it's impressive. It seems like if I watch him for 2 games during the weekend, I'll make 3 fantastic plays over there.
No brainers.
Yeah, no brainers. So,
Marcus doing good. See, you got Gio looking at you.
So next category, triples.
Oh, here we go.
So we got Jason Gannick from Moneyline with 4.
No PJ Raines?
And then we got 4 guys tied in second with 3. Scotty Vetter, 45s. Dave Navarro, signature. Anthony Stacy, flashback, and what used to be the double machine turning into a triple machine, Danny Dispenza.
You have to mix it up this year.
Yeah, it's funny. Jason Gannick, Vetter, Navarro, Dispenza all run like deers, and you got Anthony Stacy sneaking in there. Not quite the foot speed of those other 4 guys, but he's got 3 of them.
He has base running his art. He cuts the bases right, baby.
And, that's when a lot of guys will joke, way to turn the homer into a triple. Just kidding, Anthony. I love you. So those are the triple leaders. Now we're going to get to the categories I think that a lot of the hitters like, as we got home runs and RBIs coming up.
Okay.
So the home run leader is still Curtis Ostrom. He flew out to 7. He's been sitting on that number now for a few tournaments. Spencer Mahoney with 5. Spencer's actually been on that number a little bit, but I think he might have hit a couple this weekend. But
yeah, it's a shame.
Unfortunately, it won't go into the stats.
Yeah.
Nick Kimmer, Jason Gannick, and little Dave Bradford all checking in with 4. So these are the home run hitters. I think Mahoney and Gannick, not a surprise, but to see Curtis, Dave, and Kimmer on the list, a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
And now we get to RBIs, top 5. Ryan Russ with 30, tied with Danny Dispenza with 30. There's PJ Raines again with 25.
My guy.
Julian Gutierrez with 23. And another very good up-and-coming first baseman, Mike Greco on Hex with 23.
Yeah.
And Mike is just having a wonderful year, and he's really come along. And, just a little inside scoop. I know Circus was trying to recruit him last year to come in this year to play for him. But sometimes the things you don't do work out, because Eddie Valunas playing lights out for Circus. So we got one more big event for the summer series coming up in Joliet. Of course, we do have the Class A glove tournament coming up in Carroll Stream. If you're an A or B team, we put up the electronic packet yesterday, and today we kind of threw a reminder up. Reach out to me or Anthony Tyler if you want to get in. I believe the entry deadline might be around August 8th, so you don't want to miss the deadline. This weekend, Melrose Park, Veterans Park District annual softball tournament and co-ed. I know you got a team in.
I think we might have a team in somewhere.
And so we'll
under
be,
assumed name.
So we'll be out here streaming a little of that. That tournament actually starts on Thursday. They have a Class A / kind of B division. They have an open division, which is basically for major and type players. And then they have the co-ed mush. And then on Sunday, we'll also be up at the Michael Seriali tournament, 27th annual tournament for the memory of Michael Seriali. So we're going to try to show you a few championship games in a few divisions and a few places this weekend. It's what we do here at the SSA when me and Jerry aren't cutting it up. And a lot of softball left, not only the major and the A, but the 50 and over women's national championship Labor Day weekend.
That should be very interesting. I got to check that one out.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're trying to secure one or possibly two teams, women's teams from Iowa. So we're going to see how that pans out. We also got the 50 and over coming up, the co-ed mush ball, and then, of course, the Las Vegas big ball getaway.
So we still got stuff coming up, huh?
Stuff, and we'll probably be at the first responder tournament that Frank Jekyll and Joey Agardo put on. I'm trying to think now if Los Barachos already had their tournament, but a lot of events coming up. We'll be doing our shows, and of course, live streaming as always. So if you have any questions, again, take care of the people that support 16 in softball. Sweet Buzz covered them a little earlier, but when you come to our events, take a look at our banners, and if you need somebody or you're looking for those kind of services, please support them. It's how we do what we do for all of you out there. And it is the reason 16-inch softball is still going strong. If you want to become an SSA corporate partner, you want to get involved, even if it's not financially, if you just want to help us out, volunteer, we'd love to talk to you. You can email us at info@ssasoftball.com, or you can give me a buzz at 708-807-7043. So final thoughts, Jerry, as we head into the dog days before we get to the A glove and the major.
Well, this season has been very unpredictable, which makes it beautiful, and it's really rolled by faster than I thought it would. And I'm having an awesome time and a great time, and just to let you guys know, we appreciate all the support, all the videos. I'm sitting down in Forest Park, and I got a lot of positive feedback. I got tired of answering the question, "Where is Gio? Where is Gio?" And I'm like, wait a minute, he's not a one-man show. I'm not chopped liver. So I put a poster up, I don't know. So when everybody started asking me, I just put the poster up, "Where is Gio?" So other than that, the people missed you at the No Glove. You were very missed. And guess what? We still got more work to do, and we're happy to serve the people and 16 in softball.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the kind words there, Jerry.
I only speak the truth.
I had a few people come up to me as well, but it was what it was. And, this has been a weird summer because of how hot it's been.
Yes.
And, I'm tickled pink. They're saying that, like, Friday and Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be like in the mid-70s. So I'm like, I'd love nothing more than to have to put a hoodie on and be in my cargo shorts and go out and be able to not have my equipment overheat and worry about
Well, that's
battery
true.
drainage and everything else. That's, to me, when I look back on this year, that's going to be the one thing that stands out is just the oppressive heat and humidity. And I'm actually pretty proud of a lot of the players because they manage themselves physically pretty well. We haven't had anybody, knock on wood, keeling over from heat stroke or anything like that. They've been diligent. Of course, we've constantly been talking to teams about drinking and
Getting hydrated.
yeah, and doing that work to stay physically in good shape. And I don't get it in Arizona, man. They don't play in the daylight like we do.
No, I'm not going to smash Arizona, but us Midwest people, we're tougher than that.
Well,
No excuses.
I'm just saying that it's funny. We never even think about it.
No.
We just go out and we play and
Have a good time. Catch a shade spot.
Guys start ruining those expensive uniforms you give them when they cut the sleeves off. But
Oh, yeah.
what are you going to do? But anyways, we hope you guys enjoyed the show. And me and Jerry still got a lot of stuff we'll be doing as the season progresses. And we might have a Zoom interview that we're going to throw up later this week. I'm going to leave that as a teaser.
Oh, yeah.
So on behalf of the SSA broadcast, Jerry Brown, Gio, and somewhere in Sarasota, Florida, George Bliss is tuning in. We love you, George.
Great
We
Bliss.
miss you.